Hello and welcome, my beautiful cosmic kitty cats. It's going to be a general reading for the month of January. Okay. I'm going to start out with this one. So we have forgetting oneself. So I feel like I'm not going to say there's very few, because for all I know, there could be a majority of people who fully remember not only their past lives, but they remember coming back here. They remember choosing to come back. They remember the agreements that they made to come back here. And then there's some of us who have no idea how or why we're here, but we are here, fulfilling our soul contracts. And in the midst of that, gaining bits and pieces, little puzzle pieces here and there of who we were and who we are going to be this time. And it can be frustrating, and it can be just overwhelming, because you're just like, is this really worth finding all these little pieces, putting them together? I mean, is that something I really want to go through with? Is it even worth it? And I think finding information on starseeds in general is, it's difficult to locate an easily accessible database for that information. So we kind of have to do our own research, wait for the information to come to us, find our own resources. Most of that has to do with communicating with our star family, which isn't a bad thing, because that teaches us how to build connections with ancestors and spirit guides and Akashic records, things like that. And it teaches us to adapt and overcome, which I think is also part of the reason we came here. But one, I think it's absolutely worth it, you know? It's a lifetime journey. But by passing down that knowledge, the next generation isn't going to find it so difficult, right? And I think you have to go from, I guess, concealing who you are to showing who you are. Concealing the knowledge that you've come across to exploiting the knowledge that you've come across to make it easier for other generations. Realizing that we all have amazing, powerful gifts to not only give and replenish the world with, but it's sort of like, how do I word it? So, we'll just use the example shapeshifters. The very, very first shapeshifters probably didn't know how to control themselves, what they were capable of, how to categorize their abilities, how to use them properly. And when they did, that knowledge of how to control ourselves, how to use our powers properly, how to use it to help people around us, it was passed down over generations, right? And it's our job to pass down those gifts, those abilities, the knowledge of understanding ourselves and our capabilities, and how others can understand themselves and their capabilities, so that we can spend more time helping people instead of just understanding, you know? So it goes from spending our lives understanding, oh, okay, so this is what this does, and this is how I can use this, to where our kids, our grandkids, we could be like, this is how this works, and this is how you do this, and they could be like, oh, okay, I understand that, and they don't have to discover it for themselves. And part of that is also passing down the knowledge of it's a group effort. And we don't know who's involved with this group project just yet. We're not going to know until we see end results. But we know that there's people out there with us who have similar ideas and end results that they want. So we're all just collectively sending energy towards different things. And from that, different things are coming to us. If that makes any sense. So, 16. Control. If you have drawn the sigil, you are doing what you are doing for control. Your hidden motive of control is causing you pain and other people pain as well. You are most likely trying to control the inevitable or control the uncontrollable. As a result, you are feeling powerless, terrified, and out of control. You are focusing on something as if it is something that you can control, and as if controlling it will prevent pain. This is especially true when you are trying to control things external to you. It is a superbly powerless position to put yourself in, to require them to do something else so that you can feel good. In this way, trying to control puts you squarely out of control. This is why it could be said that control is an illusion. Look at the situation and ask yourself, how am I trying to control in this scenario? Criticism is often an attempt to gain control of others. We are only critical of something when we are afraid we will be affected by something. Criticism is a cry for help in disguise. It is a cry for help that says, I feel powerless to others, and so I can't trust myself to make myself feel good, and especially to feel emotionally safe. And so I need you to correct this thing that is going to cause me pain so I don't have to feel bad. Control is impregnated with disapproval. If I'm going to control myself, I'm disapproving of myself in some way and distrusting of myself in some way. If I am controlling of other people, I am disapproving of and distrusting them in some way. If you have drawn this sigil, constantly trying to assert your power to influence or direct your own and or other people's behavior as well as the course of events is the problem at hand. You are controlling yourself and or controlling others in ways that do not benefit anyone. What behaviors and course of events exactly are you trying to avoid? The way that you are going about it may simply be getting you into another painful situation. Pushing against what you do not want is making it impossible to bring about what you actually do want. $29. Wanting to be right. If you have drawn the sigil, you are not clearly seeing that either consciously or subconsciously you are wanting to be right more than you are wanting anything else. The truth in this situation is that it doesn't matter if you are right or not. You may be very wrong in this scenario, or you may be very right. Either way, what matters is that you are valuing being right over everything else, and this will lead to pain. It is a warped priority to have if you want genuine improvement to take place. If you are valuing being right over effectiveness, you need to ask yourself what your goal is. What do you get out of being right? In relationships especially, when it comes to conflict resolution, this will get us into a lot of trouble. It will make finding a solution impossible. It will lock us into a struggle of ego versus ego. We need to ask ourselves if we want to be right or have success. We need to ask ourselves if we want to be right or if we want connection, because of these things are opposed. Because often these things are opposed. What we tend to do when we are defending our position is that we get louder as we feel ourselves losing ground relative to something that is very important to us. We talk over others, we interrupt, we shut others down, we try to convince everyone that we are right. It is akin to an alternative reality experience because we get feverish. Like a dog with food aggression over a bone, it feels like this because our brain has quite literally been hijacked. Our body is being flooded with stress chemicals because it feels as though it is being threatened. It doesn't matter whether that threat is an external threat or just the threat of shame and the loss of power associated with being wrong, and so it chooses to shut down executive functions like compassion and strategy and openness. Instead, our instinct takes over and we do one of four things. We fight, we flee, we freeze, or appease. In all of these scenarios, we still did not let go of the idea that we are right. We simply avoid finding a meeting of minds. We prevent the critical sharing of information and opinions. We also got the opposite reward of our body being flooded with chemicals that make us feel dominant and invincible, which happens when we argue to win. If you've drawn this sigil, you have to let go of the need to be right, and instead look to be understood. To do this, you'll have to put effort into understanding others, listening to them, seeing them, and feeling them. When you do that for others, they will want to do it for you. Everyone has important opinions, perspectives, and information to share. You will soon find that the reward of actual connection will trump the feeling of being right and proving that you are right. Suppression. If you've drawn this sigil, you are suppressing. Suppressing is the act of trying to stop yourself from becoming aware of or expressing or acting on something that is arising within you. You can suppress a great many things. For example, you can try to stop yourself from feeling emotions or stuff them down. To stuff down emotions is to silence a personal truth that is desperate to come out. You can try to stop yourself from thinking something, and if you can refuse to acknowledge or express a desire or need, just to name a few, you can only heal emotions and painful perspectives that you let yourself become consciously aware of, and whose truth you express. When the truth of you, including your perspective, desires, and needs, especially emotional ones, are stuffed under the floorboards, the pain of doing so rots you from within. Your physical body begins to deteriorate, and so does the world around you. You will not feel normal or act normal to others, no matter how hard you may try. For example, you may act passive-aggressive or be totally distant and disconnected. You may sink deep into addictions. We have all kinds of methods we use to suppress. But you must know that not only does it make your relationships and life impossible, the world around you begins to reflect those things that you suppress. It is as if they transfer to other people. For example, if you suppress anger, it will seem like everyone is mad at you. When it comes to emotional awareness and expression, there are 5 layers to the emotional truth: anger, resentment, fury, blame, repelling, disappointment, sadness, and hurt, insecurity, fear, bad memories, deep wounds, understanding, empathy, responsibility, regret, love, solutions, wishes, connection. Think about the situation at hand and complete the following sentence. That's very blurry. So, first one is, I hate it when, I'm so angry that, I'm fed up with, I am filled with rage when, I feel so disappointed that, I feel so sad when, the things that hurt me so badly is, this is why it hurts me so badly, I'm afraid that, what I'm truly afraid of is, it scares me when, it reminds me of, I'm sorry that, please forgive me for, it is completely understandable that, I regret that, I understand that, I want to blank, I forgive blank for blank, I hope that, thank blank for blank, I appreciate blank because, I love blank because. So if you have drawn this sigil, you need to stop suppressing in order to get anywhere relative to the situation at hand. So, if you think about it, you're stuck in this situation because of your suppressing, and you can't get anywhere because all you really care about is you want to be right. This is causing you to feel like this. This is on a back burner. That emotion is on a back burner. You're finally starting to question, is that really you? And by releasing these negative toxic emotions, and by releasing the need to be right, and by allowing yourself to make connections and unearth these suppressed emotions, you will finally be able to expose yourself and how you feel and who you are. Your suppressed emotions is the reason that you've forgotten yourself, and the reason that you feel alone in the world. So we have conscious channeling on top. This is important because by allowing your suppressed emotions to be unearthed, exposing them for everyone, expressing your true self, you're going to be able to consciously channel not only information from ancestors and your starseed family, but your guides and everything. It's going to allow you to move yourself in a direction that truly makes you happy. Surrendering not only the need to be right, but just any red flag behaviors that you see in yourself, you know? Because by asking yourself questions that allow you to pinpoint those red flag behaviors, you're going to, in fact, honestly, just like ask yourself those questions and then just write it down. You know, is this something I need to let go of? Is this something that's holding me back? And then we have Soul Star Chakra. Stepping beyond your limitations, conscious creation, reaching a peak. Ever guiding, ever loving, ever seeing presence of your soul self welcoming you home. The Soul Star Chakra is a brilliant, stellar gateway to your divine self. This chakra has been initiated via your Akashic records as you have reached a readiness and willingness to connect with your higher selves. It is time to open your soul to transcending old habits and patterns that have limited you thus far. If you already feel consciously connected with your higher self, this chakra welcomes a higher opening as you shift and align further with your soul's purpose. This mandala brings confirmation of your accelerated growth as you are now living as your light body self via a physical experience. This card indicates a time of celebration as you dance in the joy that you bring forth to this planet. As you lead the way, be a shining example of pure love by allowing your heart to sing for all to hear. As one you are, we are united. When I honor my feelings, I find my power in powerless situations. When I shine bright, I give others permission to shine with me. So this month, I think it's going to be important to be that hype energy for just those other lyran star seeds. Because when they see someone else step out, just that bang energy, it hypes everyone else out, you know? It helps create that unity that all starseed families need. I don't dance around the perimeter of the person I want to be. I step fully and completely. So you can't be half in, half out, right? You're either there or you're not there. My presence is my power. So directing energy, I think, is a very important subject to focus on this month. You have the power to protect yourself. You have the power to do anything you want, really. It's just a matter of directing it properly, and that's something that takes practice. When in doubt, I choose to see peace. But either way, by allowing these suppressed emotions to come forth and just this great release, this great surrender of just things you don't need. You will feel naked before the stars, but in a good way. You will be able to share and pass down needed information to other starseed souls that will help the collective. Hopefully that helped, and I hope you have a wonderful January.